Every time you plan an Ironman, you go in, you try to do your best, try to hit the targets because the build-up process and training process is quite long. I don't really think anyone does an Ironman as their B race because there's so much effort involved in it. But I went in Italy in 2022, but I went 9:28. My first Ironman, I didn't really have too much expectation. In 2023, I did 2 Ironmans, but I went to Challenge Rock, came in about 9:45. At the end of the year, I went to Western Australia, came in 9:29 or so. Earlier this year, I was in Ironman New Zealand, had a great race, but sadly in this case, the weather wasn't quite on. Came in 9:28. As you can see, there's a trend, 9:28, 9:28, 9:28. After that, I actually tried Challenge Taiwan. I had a DNF. I kind of reassessed my training a bit in the build-up to Copenhagen. Took it a little bit slower this time, cut down the mileage a bit. So when I went to Copenhagen, I was feeling a little bit undercooked, but generally quite confident, quite fresh going to the race. It would also be my final race of the year, quite relaxed going into it. An Ironman's a long race. But in the race, I do keep track of my total time, generally only 3 points. So after the swim, after the bike, and then normally at the 21k. So when I came out from the swim, 59 minutes, that was kind of what I targeted. Came out feeling quite fresh, but then I stupidly undid all the good work by taking out a wrong bag in transition, which cost me about a minute plus. But overall, I still knew I was on track, so that was good. Then on the bike, I came in about like 4:45 to 4:46. Off on the run, I knew I needed to run 3 hour to 3:05 range in an Ironman after you've swam and you bike. I first had the inkling that I might be able to go under 9 hours, 5 minutes at the 21 km mark. After 10k, at the 30k mark, I was still going reasonably strongly. I didn't fade that much. I told myself, okay, this seems to be possible. We might get there, but I was also still quite conservative because in the past, the last 10k is when things start to get really hard and you can lose a lot of time in your last 10k in an Ironman. So only at the last 3k, when I saw I had about 20 minutes, that was when I knew I made it. Shed a few tears of joy then. In the last 1k, when I saw the 41 km mark, with like 10 minutes to go, that was when I knew I absolutely made it. First thing I could think about really was my wife. She's been supporting me throughout all the years. Training's been hard. Couldn't have done it without her, my coach, the training partners. So she's really spent a lot of time with me in this quest to get there. So it was quite an emotional last 1k thinking about all these things. The first time I saw when I finished was my wife. We gave her a kiss and told her we did it. So that was quite an emotional moment. What I felt was really different this round, maybe on the mental preparations. I was just a bit more calmer about the whole thing. On the swim, you stay calm, don't go into a good pack, don't waste any energy, just stay steady, drafting people, right? When you're racing in Europe, there's a lot of people who are faster than you on the bike because they're such a bicycle-centric country. They just fly by you. And you're cycling at 40 kilometers per hour thinking you're fast and the guy beside you comes up and fly by you at 45. What are you going to do, right? In the past, I have tried my best to keep a legal draft distance and to try to follow faster people. This round, I was able to focus on my own race more and execute my race plan a bit better. And the most challenging part for me, I felt, was the last 10 km because it was a bit of an unknown. After seeing the finish line, having to go out again and do another 10k, that was mentally challenging. How I dealt with that was I just told myself, let's keep moving along, focus on one step at a time, take it 1 kilometer at a time. As athletes, we always like to chase our PB. Chasing a PB is still always in the back of my head. You always want to get better, to really see the limits. After Sub-9 is done, I feel like the goal that I've set out for myself to do over the last couple of years has finally came true. It's just good to enjoy the moment. Moments like this don't come around very often. Take a good break. Whenever you do a super PB performance, it also demands PB sort of recovery. I think now is the time to chase that PB recovery. So you'll see me eating and having a good time over the next 2 months.